Yo, can you imagine we are about to enter July and not one of the games that we were promised this summer has released? That is crazy to me. Anyways, so this is Solo Retribution, a game I already did cover in the past, but in that video I really didn't cover anything about the game's combat mechanics and how the dungeons will look when the game does release. So today we're just going to be looking at that. Okay, so if you're new, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and let's get into it. Okay, so if we look at this first clip right here, we can already see how the combat mechanic is going to be. Now, one of my fears about this game was that it was going to be a copy and paste, since this devs were the same devs that worked on Clover Retributions, but it's actually kind of nice to see that they've actually been working on some new stuff for Solo Retribution. You know, because if you don't know, Clover Retribution was very PvE based, but if you look at this clip right here, you can see that the combat mechanics do look different. You know what I'm saying? Like the M1s look different. If you also take a look at this clip right here of where he's fighting a bunch of NPCs, you can also see too that the combat mechanics are very different. The way you use your abilities too, the graphics for the abilities look really different too. You know what I'm saying? The AIs are also better as well. You know, I was surprised to see that they're actually adding some actual good AIs into the game, because like I said, in their old game, the AIs were, they had no life. It's actually nice to see that they've actually been incorporating some good AIs into their team, because if you don't know, this game is going to be very PvE based. Even though they're going to have some PvP, it's going to be very PvE, because, you know, anime is about him going into dungeons and leveling up. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't much, there was PvP, but it was with like dungeon mobs a lot more. So having the NPCs actually think and actually do good is actually a big plus in my book. So I'm glad to see that. You know what I'm saying? If you take a look at this sneak too as well, that also posted, this is one of the gates. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like an A rank or a B rank gate. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, in the anime, blue gates were either from A to like C, okay, and then S rank gates were like red, you know. But we're not going to go into the anime, okay. All right, we're just gonna look at this clip too as well. This is him fighting one of the testers, I'm guessing. You know, again, the melee looks good. It looks like they've been putting a lot more work into the melee. So this next sneak is going to be a sneak peek of combat mechanics with a weapon, because the rest I've been showing was without a weapon, and it's also really good as well. I remember that I showcased a poll that they did in their Discord where they asked a bunch of people what weapon they wanted to start with in the game, and everybody chose a dagger, because, you know, everybody wants to, you know, follow the way the anime is. So it's nice to see that we also got a sneak too of the dagger showcase, and honestly, it looks pretty nice. I like that spin move that he does when he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's a really nice combo extender. Of course, yeah, they don't have a lot of moves, so it feels like, you know, they're taking a lot more turns, but the combat still looks nice. There's parrying in the game, which I like to see. You know what I'm saying? One thing I appreciate about parrying in the game is that it makes it so that it doesn't, the fights don't feel so one-sided every single time. Okay, so that's actually really good as well. That guy's just running away. He was just running away the entire time. He didn't even want no smoke. They're probably not that good. They're probably just the developers. They probably don't know how to fight like that in the game. But it looks like the Fabio, he's doing pretty good with the combat. So it's nice to see. But yeah, the dagger looks nice. The M1 speeds look fairly good in my opinion. They look very parryable. And I was saying this another one too. Combat, they actually posted a really good amount of sneak peek on how the combat is going to be. Now, I don't want to say that this is going to be like the final form of the combat mechanics. All right, the game is still in development, but and I was saying, in my opinion, I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, it's not looking too stale. It's looking very fluid. The movements too are also looking good. The dashing, I don't know if they've implemented any perfect dashing, or if they plan to implement perfect dashing and stuff like that, but it's looking pretty good. You know, saying they're using one skill, stuff like that. It's looking nice. Okay, so here's another sneak peek, just a brief rundown of one of the dungeons. All right, and they were actually saying that the dungeons are going to be really hard to, you know, saying navigate through. Like, you actually have to use your brain to be able to navigate through the dungeons. And they'll actually show one of the sneak peeks right here, just showcasing one of the dungeons, or one of the maps for the dungeons. Okay, and honestly, I don't mind a dungeon game being, you know, interactive. You know, say that's one thing I like about dungeon. That's one thing I feel like makes dungeon games good is interaction. You know, saying it doesn't feel like you're just going straight to the goal. It feels like, you know, you're actually taking corners. You know, saying you're discovering new stuff. I don't know what plans they're gonna have for the game, but it's nice that the dungeons are not just like go in and go out. You know, because in the anime, the dungeons are not a go in and go out. You actually have to have experience when you're going into dungeons so you don't die. So it's nice that you're adding that. But all I'm just saying, don't make it too hard to where people are just gonna start crashing out and stuff like that. But it's actually pretty good. And I know one thing AGZ was talking about in one of his videos is that he wants maps to be a lot more interactive. So it's good that they're actually taking that in mind. Okay. A bunch of sneak peeks on the animals as well. The mobs that is going to be in the game as well. So here's another information of what exactly I was talking about when I said that it's nice that they're making the dungeons a lot more interactive. You know, they just gave like a brief explanation to how the double dungeons are going to be, you know, just talking about how to find it and how to escape it and stuff like that. You guys can read it. I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm not going to read it, but you guys can read it, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want to waste too much time in this video. But like I said, it's nice that they're actually making the games interactive. They're making the dungeons interactive. Okay, just here's a couple more sneaks of the mobs that are going to be in some of the dungeons as well. Okay, I'm hoping too that the dungeons are not like just one type of dungeon. I'm hoping that they make it like absolvement, you know, so where it's like different, the dungeons are like different, it's like different scenarios, different mobs, different maps and stuff. Like, of course they're gonna do something like that, of course, yeah, duh. But I'm hoping that they're gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? And maybe as updates keep coming too, they could also be adding more maps. You know the way Fortnite does it, where it's like they add new maps and stuff like that. They could also do that for updates. I'm giving y'all an idea. Devs, if you're watching this video, I'm giving you guys an idea right here. Okay, so it's good that the maps are looking good. This is another picture of inside the dungeon. You know what I'm saying? Another pictures, some more sneaks of the mobs. The spider from the first season, also looking nice as well. This is the spider dungeon. I'm pretty sure the dungeon that they showcased in this sneak is probably the first dungeon, which is the spider dungeon, the one from season 1. So yeah, that's looking pretty nice as well. All right, this is also another sneak peek of one of the mobs too as well. This is going to be the golem. That's going to be one of the dungeons. Okay, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is going to be in different dungeons as well, so that's actually nice to see. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for today's video. I did not want to make this video long because they didn't really put any sneak out there. I just wanted to get this out there and showcase to you guys that this game is coming out soon, so y'all should, you know, y'all should join the Discord and be in there, because they're posting sneaks on like some game that there's no information about that game at all. And I really do have high hopes for this game. I also think that the devs should take their time with this, because, you know, Solo Leveling was a really good anime. All right, it's really good, and it'll be terrible if they brought out this game and it doesn't meet the standard. Now, I'm not trying to put any pressure on the devs. No, I'm not trying to do that. But the more time you take with stuff, the more time you're going to give yourself to get more ideas to make the games a lot more fun, replayability and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying you should take the game for like 4 or 5 years like Relsies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 years is a little too much for me, I ain't gonna lie. But maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, you know what I'm saying? Just give yourself some time and, you know, just make the game good. Okay, so that's gonna do for today's video. So like the video, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.